Hey Falcon Force, welcome back to the Nest. In this video, the process of starting over day 6, I'm going to be teaching you guys about discipline, how it goes hand in hand with motivation, and steps on how to discipline yourself to go reach your goals. So let's go ahead and hop on into it. The reason why I decided to make a video on this topic specifically is because someone reached out to me, they messaged me, basically commented and said, hey, are you going to talk about how discipline goes hand in hand with motivation? Because they were reaching out about my motivation video. And the reason why I didn't really want to talk about discipline is because I kind of struggle with it. And so I didn't want to talk about something that I struggle with because that means I have to do it, even though I know the steps on how to discipline myself in order to do things properly, but I don't want to let go of the things that I really enjoy doing because that comes with distractions, procrastination, things that I would rather be doing instead of doing my main project just because it's more enjoyable at the time. So let's go ahead and hop on into it. I'm going to give you 3 steps in order to discipline yourself to go reach your goals. So let's hop on in. So the first thing that we need to settle is, why do you not want to do the task in the first place? Well, most of the time when people don't want to do the tasks that they are set in front of them, even if it is just goals that they have for themselves, even if there is a high motivation to go get that thing done, is because there's things that they would rather be doing in the moment, which is what we call distractions, which is like looking at your phone, looking at things you probably shouldn't be looking at, taking part in that one moment of pleasure for a little bit and then going into other places. It's just like, it's a deep trap that a lot of people get caught in. They don't want to do their work because they would rather be doing something else at the moment, whether that's playing games, whether that's talking to friends, whether that's checking your social media. It doesn't matter. Those are things that people consider as distractions that keep them from reaching their goal. So that's the first thing. Okay, the second thing that I would say is because people don't really have a high motivation in order to do said thing, but they know that the goal, that the end that they're trying to reach will be worth it. And there's nothing wrong with having a goal that you don't want to do, but you know that it'll be worth it in the end. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, cybersecurity is kind of my thing that I just really don't want to do because I know that I'm not going to be in that industry forever, but I know it's going to provide me a income stream to provide toward my podcast and my other things. So I get that too, and I can relate with you. Now, the third thing that people basically do is they think that they're going to fail. And we talked about this in the motivation video. So people think that they're going to fail. They don't have courage in order to do it. They're scared of disappointing others. And that's the third reason why people don't want to do things. So let's go ahead and tackle each one of those reasons. So the first one is basically you do distractions and you don't want to partake in those. Okay, so here's the way to mitigate distractions, to get rid of distractions. First thing that you can do, okay, first of all, make it a game. Okay, make whatever your goal is a game. You basically set a time and you're like, okay, as a matter of fact, don't even set a time. You basically set, I'm sorry, I'm tripping over my words because I'm trying to explain things too quickly. Let me go ahead and slow down. Okay, so make it a game. All right, how do you make what you're doing a game? How do you make work a game? Well, think about it this way. The first thing that you could do is, how long can I work on this until I get distracted? How long can I continue working on this? And you basically set a timer. And the moment that you get distracted, or the moment that you decide to do something else instead of the task that you were destined to do, click the timer, like click stop on the timer. How long did I do it? Wow, I did it for 30 minutes this time. That's really cool. And then your next goal is to break that goal. The next goal is to continue doing what you were supposed to be doing for longer than that. Oh, cool, I did it for 32 minutes. Cool, I did it for 40 minutes. Wow, that's really cool. Cool, I did it for like 3 hours this time. That's really awesome without getting distracted. Okay, you make it a game. On top of that, you can reward yourself for when you actually break goals and when you do things like that. Really awesome stuff. Really cool stuff. You guys can do that. Okay, second thing that you guys can do is, instead of mitigating distractions, you guys can think of this in your mind when distractions come up. You're like, I'll do that in 10 minutes, or I'll do that in 20 minutes. And the more you guys do that, you'll realize that you're actually doing the task that you thought, that you really wanted to do for longer than that amount of time. So basically, you will set a time. You're like, I will do that in 10 minutes. I will let myself be distracted for that in 10 minutes. And by the time that happens, by the time that 10 minutes is over, sometimes even before that 10 minutes is over, you don't even have the urge to go do that distraction anymore. I've been doing my best to practice that a little bit more because that really helps me. I'm like, I'll do that later. And it gets it out of your mind. You're responding to the urge in a positive way. You're like, I will do that later, instead of saying, I'm not going to do that right now. Because when your brain says, I'm not going to do that right now, you end up doing that thing anyways. So instead, you reinforce it with a positive thought saying, I will do that later. And in your mind, you think of doing that later. So then you focus on the current task at hand. The second thing that we were talking about is that they know that the goal at the end will be worth it, but they don't want to put in the work in order to do it now. So the people that I said to that is, do it anyways. Okay, now you might think this is stupid, but I was just talking to Logan Weason about this. Our podcast will be coming out soon. Go Getters will be coming out in about a couple weeks. You guys will be able to watch it. There will be a Go Getters channel where we invite people on there. If you guys want to be invited on there, reach out to me. You guys can check out that. Okay, it'll be on Spotify as well as this podcast. This podcast is now on Spotify as well, so you guys can go find this. Anyways, so we are talking about discipline and we are talking about doing it anyways. Now, most of the time when people hear doing it anyways, they're like, oh, but I really don't want to. But think about it this way. Many of the tasks that you do anyways when you don't want to do it, you end up finishing the entire task. And then you're happier after you finish it. You're like, dang, I really did that. It's a really cool thing. You know, it's harder to get distracted when you don't want to do something and then you do it anyways. And then you're basically in that task. You're invested in that task. That's the main thing. Now, what if you're not invested in that task even after you start doing that task? What if you still get distracted? Well, like I said, you can go back to making it a game. You can go back to setting that 10-minute thing. I'll do this in 10 minutes type of a thing. So, and I'm not talking about your main task. You're talking about the distraction. You'll do the distraction in 10 minutes. But by the time you start doing it, you're really going to get that urge out of there anyways. It's training your mind to indulge in those things afterward. Now then, so the third thing that I talked about was people are scared of disappointing people and you're scared of failing. Well, that's definitely a valid urge. I get that quite a lot. I'm scared of failing YouTube. I'm scared of failing my CISA Plus test, my cybersecurity analyst test. I'm scared of possibly not making enough money. I'm scared that these podcasts won't be successful. I get that. But I'm not scared of failing. I'm not scared of disappointing others. Because the thing is, first of all, for disappointment, you're going to disappoint others. It's going to happen. That's going to be something that you're going to do. No matter what you do, it's going to disappoint others. Okay? The other thing is you have a fear of failing. Well, the thing is, you don't know what the outcome is going to be until after you do it. Even when Thomas Edison was creating the light bulb, he said, I've not failed. I've just found out 10,000 ways that won't work. And that's just like the craziest thing. He's like, now I know the proper way to do it. And that's how he created the light bulb. He messed up multiple times and then figured out the proper way to do it. Really cool stuff, okay? So honestly, just go ahead and keep on doing it. Even if you think you're going to fail, don't worry. Get that thought out of your mind that you're going to fail because you do not know the outcome until afterwards. And then make it a positive thought. You figured out another way that's not going to work. Now that you know that that's not going to work, or now that you know that you found a way that you can improve, continue improving on that thing that you figured out you can improve. So there's a rule called the 20-80 rule, and it's basically says 20% of the input that you're doing will yield 80% of the outcome. So basically the other 80% that you're inputting only releases 20%. So your goal is to maximize on that 20% so you can hopefully turn that into a full 100%, and then stop focusing on the other 80% of things that you're doing that aren't really going to yield that result. Now, you can figure out how to make that go hand in hand with your discipline and motivation. So I would encourage watching this video side by side between the motivation video as well, because this will give you other tips. And once you watch it side by side, it'll combine into a really cool masterpiece that'll basically give you the information on how to use discipline and how to use motivation hand in hand together. I really encourage you guys to do that if you guys haven't listened to that video yet. Had to do just a little bit of cuts, my bad. But here we go. We're at the end of the episode. I really do appreciate you guys. You guys are really awesome. Okay, what's next? I will be making another video tomorrow, which will be day 7. It will be more of a life update and summarizing all the videos that I've already talked upon already. But I also make sure to keep on doing more videos. The more that you guys comment, the more questions that you guys ask, the more videos I'll make about, and the more things that I keep on learning and feel led to talk about, I will talk about here on this podcast. So I really do hope you guys appreciate it. Like I said earlier in this episode, the podcast is now available on Spotify, so you guys can go listen to the process of starting over on Spotify. Make sure to go ahead and give it a review in order to support me, and so other people can go ahead and listen to this awesome information too. Now then, what's next after that? I don't really know, but we'll go ahead and see. This is like the first week that I've been doing this, and I'm really excited to keep on teaching you guys even more information. So let's go ahead and keep on going. Remember, this is the process of starting over. It's a hard and grueling process, but the more we get through it, the more that we keep on going, the more we keep on growing. And so I really hope you guys keep on continuing with me on this process of starting over. I hope you guys are applying the things that you guys are doing right now in your life. And with that, I really do appreciate you guys, but I'll see you guys in the next one, all right? Stay strong, fly on, Falcon Force. Remember to watch these videos right here if you guys are enjoying everything, and subscribe to the channel over here. Much appreciated for you guys' support, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.